we're going to take a look at some details of this setup. So this is with a control grip, the 907X, the CFV 250 back, and the Metz 64 AF-1 flash, and they're connected with a sync cable. So this is a PC sync cable, so I'll just show that. The cable right there. Just goes to the sync socket, the flash, and that plugs into the flash out interface at the bottom of the back. So that's a 3.5 mil connector on this end, and it's got a 90-degree bend, which is really helpful because it just goes to the side really nicely over here. And the other part of this is the Really Right Stuff rail. This is a 7.6-inch rail, or I think it's 190 centimeters, at least it's called 190. So I'm going to turn it around so you can see it from the front. This is much more interesting. And there's also a Really Right Stuff coal shoe mount right here. That screws in the bottom there with a screw. And with another screw, I have screwed in the bottom of the control grip to this Really Right Stuff plate. So combined, that's the system I chose because this is the smallest footprint I could put together for a pseudo on-camera flash system. Since this is one of the challenges with the Hasselblad 907X is how do you attach a flash? So lots of people have asked about attaching one to this bracket, but this is a really thin piece of metal here. It's not recommended, and I think the rail is a better approach. So that's just looking at some detail shots. This rail also has a bubble on the side, and I'll turn the flash on. Take a look. And there it is. So the flash is ready. Okay, power the flash off for now. Here's a quick look at the Metz 64 AF-1 flash. Here's the front. Here's the right side. It's got the battery compartment and a USB-C cable there. There's the left side, which has the PC interface right there. And also down here has an interface for a power pack flash from Metz. And this is the back. Okay, so turning the Metz on, so the power button right here. And the menu is fairly simple. Press the menu button up here, and it's the shooting mode. So for the Hasselblad 907X, you're going to be shooting in manual. These menus work by these touch buttons here. It's not a swipe menu like we're used to on cell phones, but there it is. Okay, then the other control that you want to set is under the parameters. You're going to set the ISO. So that's down here at the bottom. ISO. Press that, and I'm shooting at 800. So here's just toggling through, and when it's highlighted, there it is. That's basically the two settings you need to set before, and then when you're shooting to adjust the flash power, you press that button there. I'll go back to it. Just press down here. The f-stop doesn't matter when you're in manual mode. It is just the power of the flash. So we press this, And going up by default, it is set to full, which is right there at 18 meters. You see it says 1/1. The nice thing is right next to it, it says the distance 18 meters. So we go down to half and select that. That's half power. And that's at 12 meters. So going down again to 1/4, that's dropping another stop at 9 meters. And so on. So most of these pictures I took were at 1/8, 1/16, and 1/4. So I'll show you, it goes all the way down to 1/256, which is really, really very little power. So I'm going to take it back up to 1/8. So I like those distance markings. That's basically the flash interface. The battery compartment is on the right side. Press it down, opens up 4 AA batteries, and there's a USB-C interface hidden here. That is for firmware updates. The door to the compartment stays attached. It just swings open. Closing it, it's a little resistant. So I'm gonna pick it up and try to get it. So this has been a normal struggle. There we go. Popped open. But it's a shot. This is the Really Right Stuff MPR-192 multi-purpose rail. So 192 is for 192 millimeters. So you can see the markings for millimeters left to right. You can see it's 18 on this side and 1 on this side. If I turn it over, it's 18 on this side and 1 on this side, just showing that it's consistent that way. That helps with macro lenses. So on the underside are 2 screws that can be adjusted. This one is on the cold shoe, and these other 2 I'll talk about later. From the side, you can see it has Arca Swiss style grooves on the left and right, in top and bottom. So if you needed to turn it over this way, you could. Here is the Really Right Stuff cold shoe attached to this. I attached that. This is a very durable cold shoe, and it can be attached anywhere this screw goes. There's a little bubble head, which is nice to have. So that's what we're using. Also included with the Really Right Stuff rail is a hex key, which is very convenient, and that fits easily into the screws here to loosen or tighten them. And what's important is this rail is with the 1/4 inch 20 screw. They also make one with a 3/8 inch. So for the Hasselblad 907X, I recommend the 1/4 inch because that fits at the bottom of the camera. But just want to point out that the hex key is included. Hi everybody, it's Tarek from Tarek's Rock, and today I want to talk about a flash on the 907X system. So this has been a big question for a lot of people in my previous videos, comments, and discussions with other people, and it's just had me curious. So this week I had been working on this, and this weekend I've been exploring this a lot. So I just want to dive right into it. So as you can see right here, I have the Hasselblad 907X with the CFV 250C back, the control grip, the 45p lens, and I have a Metz Mecablitz 64 AF-1 flash. So this is quite a challenge, and I don't know that I've settled on this as a system yet, but this is what I have right now, and I just want to share it with other people trying to explore Hasselblad 907X flash solutions. So what I was setting out to do was to look for a handheld flash. So something that could provide some fill light, some bounce off of the roof, off of walls, through reflectors, just to add a little bit. Of course, natural light is the best, and we look for that wherever we can. But in reality, having some flash is helpful. So I will show some more details of this in another clip, but right now I just want to show some positions that you can handhold this system. So with this rail and this coal shoe mount, I have found basically this kind of shooting position. Basically the left hand would go underneath. It can kind of hold the rail. But mainly you're going to be supporting it with the grip. So a lot of the weight is right here, so you do need some support here. This isn't super comfortable. I was trying to avoid the big flash brackets, the ones that come around and have the flash on top. Of course, they have advantages too. They get the flash head above the lens, but I was going for minimal hardware as much as possible. So this is what I'm starting with, and so just from a normal shooting mode, having it this way, I hope this is visible, is decent, but you do need to kind of support it this way. The flash doesn't add that much weight to it. So the other challenge is, what if you want to shoot vertically? Actually, I'll come back to that in a moment. So in this position, basically, you can bounce the flash, get the card out, turn around, go around 360, and this is something I want to point out. See how it's clearing the OVF? So there's enough space here that I checked that it clears the OVF. The other thing is, if you look at it this way, even this is as if you're looking at it from the top. If it was firing this way, for example, if you're holding it vertically like this, of course you don't want to be looking through the OVF. At that point, it's going to just blast you in the face. So not recommending that. But you could see it on the screen. So it's still technically possible. And the way you would hold that is with the grip, if you have the grip, and kind of cup the rail with your fingers like a little pistol grip. Again, not super comfortable. This is not the way I'd recommend it. What I'd recommend from playing around with this, if you got to shoot vertical, is to invert it this way. And I'm talking about handheld. So we're shooting vertical. So let's go. We're probably gonna bounce the flash. Of course, you can go straight on. So I'll just show you that. So watch the ergonomics and the weight. All the weight is right here, and that's going down my right arm on the control grip. And so this large area fits really well into the palm right there. So now this is kind of awkward, but I'll get to how to make it less awkward, and there is a way. So this part of the rail provides another grip, kind of, without having to be a big handle on one of the larger flash brackets. So that's kind of decent, and it's kind of close in. So instead of this is what I do. Turn your hand, and now your thumb is on the shutter on the grip, if you have the grip. We'll get to without the grip also. So this way, the weight is all here. It's all going right down the bones, which is great because that's less muscles involved. And then you stick it into the side of your body, and you can fairly comfortably my thumb is fairly relaxed. This is not, again, super comfortable, but the other arm here to support it is another way you can do this. And of course, if I was shooting vertically and taking a portrait, probably have this going up and or then bouncing straight up or off the ceiling. And I bet somebody has noticed there might be a challenge with this. You can only bounce the flash that way in this configuration. So I was trying to think, what can we do about this? Well, in this case, if you need to bounce the flash off the other wall, turn the system over, turn it this way, turn the flash over, and hold it like this. Again, this is with a control grip. So this is what I found could work. And I haven't done a photo shoot with anybody yet, other than myself. So talking to a friend to model for me, and haven't coordinated that yet, but at some point I will. But just the ergonomics and the logistics of how does all of this come together and how do you hold it is quite a challenge with this camera system. And so this had me curious, and for a long time I thought I'm going to need a universal reel of some sort. This is the really Right Stuff MPR-192. MPR-192. It's 7.6 inches and I think it's 190 centimeters. So this is what I have right now. Okay, moving on to the flash itself. There are two requirements for the Hasselblad 907X and connecting to a flash. First, it's manual flash only. So however you do manual. And you have to use the PC sync. That's the flash out cable. So those present a couple of challenges for attached flash on camera flash. I know it's not on the camera, but it's about as close as I could come up with. So that narrowed down what flashes I could have. Now I have a Canon system and a 580EX flash that I can't use because Canon wasn't putting PC connectors on their flash. So a lot of the Nikons do, a lot of the SB900s and others do have that, of the 5000. So that's why you may hear a lot of Hasselblad photographers going towards Nikon flashes. I chose the Metz Mecablitz 64 AF-1 flash because it does have the PC cable and it has an interesting back here. So it's a touch screen, but it doesn't. If you accidentally touch it, it's not usually going to activate anything, which is a challenge with this because you may be touching it. You press this button here, and then you get the menu, and you can touch through that. There are videos on the Mecablitz, and I'm not intending on making a full video on this particular flash at the moment, although I've chosen it. But I just wanted to explain how I got to choosing it. One, it has a PC connector, and two, I liked this interface. I was attracted to a lot of the flashes that have the little dials and other things, but I just thought going so minimalist with this, I thought I could accidentally touch some of those nice buttons and knobs that I really didn't want to. So this is the flash I have, and I was interested in the Profoto A10. Heard lots of great things about that flash and its consistency and colors. Also heard really good things about the Metz. I mean, this thing is built pretty well. So I mean, it feels pretty strong and it feels durable. So I got mine used. It said it was like a 9 mint, you know, or nearly mint, and some scuffs and everything, but it looks brand new. The box itself was damaged a little, but the flash seems to be working just fine. So the ProPhoto, the challenge with the ProPhoto A12 and this system is that it doesn't have a normal PC sync. It has a proprietary type of sync, and it's actually pretty cool in that it has a little remote wireless that goes on a hot shoe. No hot shoe here. You know, on another camera, it would go on the hot shoe, and then you can pick automatic or remote or off. And then from there, that can control the flash. But, you know, if you attach the flash here, where do you attach the remote? In this really tight, you know, form I was going for. So that was a challenge. The other challenge with the ProPhoto was that, well, they've advanced to having an app that works with their remote controller. It just didn't make sense for me with this system. It'd be like, all right, where would I put that remote? Do I have my phone out? You know, and it was just too much. And the Mecablitz was just fine. It had the PC connector and had that. But I just wanted you to know I was looking at the ProPhoto A12. So here I have a tripod, and I have a really Right Stuff head. And so I'm just going to put the rail in here and lock it up. So there it is. I know I've got the strap around my neck. I want to show you one other thing. So at the bottom of this rail, I'm going to show you, are these two little screws, and they come out just a little bit. They come out just a little bit. And when you try to set the camera down, it tilts a little forward, a little back. But those little screws are safeties for when you put it into a plate and you have the plate halfway locked, they catch, preventing it from sliding over. This plate is used for macros and other long lenses. I just used it for this case. So now it's locked in, won't go anywhere. I can lift the whole tripod up with a control grip, and there's the system. So I did take some test pictures. What I try to do is, in this little studio environment, I've got some ambient lights, amber colored, and I wanted to try to maintain those colors. So right now I have a studio light facing me. As you can see my face, I've got a hat on, and there's a light on top, so you see the top of the hat. Otherwise you just, you know, have these big shadows under my eyes and under the hat. So in the test pictures I took, I turned off the studio lights. So all I left on were these amber lights, which I wanted to just maintain that warm feel. And I played with the settings on the camera and the flash to try to maintain that ambient temperature. So I was shooting at about a 5.6. I metered for the ambient. I switched over to manual on the camera. That was just the easiest way to do it. So I could control the aperture and just adjust the EV on the control grip. And then on the flash itself, when it's in manual mode, it's at full power, so that's 1/1. And then you can dial it down to half, 1/2, to half of that again, 1/4, and you can just keep going down to 1/64. And then there's another setting where it can go down to 1/256. So you can really dial down the power. So actually, shooting in manual is fairly straightforward and simple with the Mecablitz. There's no TTL. so you're just controlling the partial power on the flash. That's that's basically all you do here. There are a few other things I have not tested yet, but there's another little forward flash here, and that can be set at full power or half power. So if you're doing a traditional sort of portrait of somebody and you're just bouncing the light up, you can just have this fire off for some catch lights, or of course you can use the white card, or one of Gary Fong's adapters, or another adapter, or whatever. There's so many other things, but basically on camera flash it works. Not so super comfortable to use, but not bad either. It did add some catch lights. And as I was playing in the studio with self-portraits, that's at the timer on 10 seconds. I was at about 5.6 on the camera, metered for the ambient, and on a flash I ended up going down to about 1/8, 1/16. I don't exactly remember. And so the results were basically, we'll take a look at them. But I got to the point where I had a little bit of cool light. I was bouncing the flash off of the back wall, and that's the only thing that's lighting me up. On the sides, it's just these amber lights giving me side lighting for my hair. You'll actually take the hat off on those, so you'll see a little bit of side lighting on under my arm, shirt, and off the hair, inside the face. But the rest of the light is coming only from the flash bouncing off the wall, and remember these studio lights that I have on, they were off for those. So I'm going to talk about another configuration with the camera system, and that is without the control grip. What would that be like? So back in a moment for that. So the control grip is gone and the flash is on the other side. So this is a different configuration. So let's talk about it. I'm going to pick it up, take it off the tripod. So release the clamp, halfway released, safety mechanism still there, all the way released, and now it comes off easily. Okay, so I'm going to move the tripod away. Let's take a look at this. So I've got the bracket now almost flush with the side of the body, and I moved the cold shoe onto the other side, and I had to rotate the cold shoe around. So I unscrewed the screw here and rotate the cold shoe, and then tighten it up again, and then tighten the flash down there. So really, Right Stuff provides a little hex key with a lot of their stuff, and this works for the cold shoe and here. And here's the surprise to me, and I hope to you too. It's good news. Using the flash on this bracket without the control grip is the preferred way to shoot. It's just easier to hold. It's simple in a lot of ways. So let's start to look through some of these. So first of all, with the Hasselblad V system, the way to hold those cameras and this one is with the left hand. The left hand, you place the camera body in the palm, and the index finger of the left hand reaches the shutter button. And in this configuration, as you can see, it can. All the weight is right here. This is very comfortable. This is very familiar if you've had a 500 series system. So, and you can reach the shutter button quite easily, and the little control knob, and the dial. The other little toggle button, you may use your other hand to reach that. And you can still also reach the lens release button. So what I like about this configuration is this is very familiar and it's easy to hold. The other thing is this multi-plate is slightly curved. So, you know, style-wise, it looks cool. That wasn't what I was going to say. But it allows the thumb to just kind of wrap around very nicely without pressing the shutter, I mean, not the shutter button, the lens release button. If you wanted to, you could loosen this a little bit and slide it over, and that would bring the rail out a little bit more if you want your thumb to be able to rest here. But I prefer it flush because this makes it an extension of the body, and then you can just kind of hold it normally. And it's almost like the flash isn't an issue, like it's not part of the problem. So I attach the cable again, and now it's on this side, it's closer, and this is a 12-inch cable, or 30 centimeters, and it plugs in to this flash. So I like it this way so much more. So in normal shooting, just hold it like this, and you could trigger it with your left index finger, pointer finger. And if you wanted to bounce, which many times you want to bounce, you want all that flat lighting side view, you could do that. And again, put out the white card. You could also, if you're using this flash, you could use the other light. And if you want to bounce it off of a wall, you can bounce it off a wall to one side, bounce it off the wall to the other side. And notice here, it doesn't touch the OVF. That's the only reason I left the OVF on here, so you could see that it clears it with this rail. And this feels so much more comfortable to hold this way. I'm not getting tired. With the control grip, I was getting tired because the control grip was here, the camera was here, and the flash was on the other side. That was just adding more weight. Here, the weight is here, and I feel the rail, but I almost don't even feel the flash at all. So, let's talk about shooting portrait. Now, this is another thing I like. So I've got a place to hold the camera here with this rail that feels like a grip. But mainly, I'm going to rest the camera in the similar style that I was holding it before, but now I'm holding it from the side. And the weight is all centered. It just feels comfortable. Aiming up. Here's the difference. In shooting like this, I can't reach it with my left finger, but it's really easy to reach it with the right hand. And the grip being here, being able to reach the shutter button right there, super easy, super easy. And this dial, also really accessible. So, and just holding it, I could hold it here to relieve a little bit of weight if I want to get this armor break. But shooting in a vertical mode with this bracket and the flash on the right side, it just feels comfortable. It just feels comfortable. This is so much more preferred than the control grip mechanism I had. Now, there are many other configurations that are possible. I'm just talking about this particular one as an example for everybody else. And if you've tried something or you're thinking about trying something, feel free to share it in the comments. I know a lot of people are really interested in how do we get a flash on this system. And wireless is a great option for many. You know, you could have a wireless controller instead of the flash, but this is nice. It holds really well this way in normal shooting. It holds very comfortably. Turning it over to the side for portrait, being able to bounce it, and now I could bounce it off of that wall to my left, to your right, if I wanted to. And remember that challenge we had with the grip? Okay, now how do I bounce it to this wall? All right, turn it over. And what I have a flash handle here, and I can reach the trigger. Oh, yeah, sorry. Want to point the flash to that wall, not to the ground. But basically, I'm holding it here. Okay, the weight is on top. That's not super great, but, you know, I've got kind of a handle. Not so awesome. Shooting the other way is better, but in this horizontal mode and this vertical mode and that wall, I prefer this over the control grip and the flash combination in this small little combination. So let's talk about a few numbers here. So the height from this flash from the base up here to the top is about 7 inches. And that's about 17 centimeters. Bring the flash up. Now we're talking from here to here. That's about 9 inches. So that's about 22 centimeters. From left to right, this rail again is about 190 centimeters. If you have the control grip on, that makes it about 10 inches across, or about, forget the number of centimeters. And then front to back, I mean depth-wise, here, take a look. From the back of here to the front of here is about 6 inches. So it's about 13 centimeters, I think. So those are some of the numbers. So this is just the beginning of this journey with the flash. Natural light is, you know, preferred most of the time for me and other people, but flashes have a lot of value. Getting some catch lights in, just a little bit of that extra light where you need it. And if we're honest, we actually do probably need that a lot. So this is just the start. I was hoping to have a model photo shoot and in addition to this, but there's so much just to the ergonomics and coordination of this bracket with the control grip, without the control grip, how you hold it vertically, how you hold it horizontally, you know, when you hold it the other way. That I thought was enough to just get started and get some ideas out there for others to get creative and maybe share some ideas on what you think, or if you have some preference of a particular flash bracket, or you know, is this keeping you away from the system? Does this make you think that, okay, that might help me with the system? I'll go ahead and link the details of the bracket and the cold shoe in the description, and also for the flash. That may not be right away, but I promise I will get that in the description of the video. And thanks for watching. We're going to take a look at a couple of the pictures. I have a different shirt on. I had the gray shirt on, and then I put on another shirt that had a little bit more contrast. And you'll see some that are a little cool, a little bit cooler, and then some that are a little bit warmer. And I was manual focusing and using the timer to take the picture, and then running back and forth. So focus may be off, but at least you can know that other than the ambient light from these amber lights, this is the only other thing that is lighting me up. Now, it's not enough fill, especially under my eyes, as you'll notice, but the studio lights above me and in front of me are off for those pictures. So just keep that in mind. All lit up through here. So if this thing can do that in this handheld little thing, you know, it's fairly portable, or you can put it on a tripod. You know, in a studio, of course, you have whatever your resources allow you to have, but you have a lot of resources. But to be able to, you know, be mobile with a little bit of flash, on this unique system, the Hasselblad 907X. This is my first round at it, and hope it's helpful to everybody else. So everybody, thank you for watching, and great to connect with you again. Feel free to comment, share your thoughts. Love hearing what ideas everybody has and their experiences. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll do another video another day, and we'll keep going. Thanks for joining me on this adventure.